Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, the place to be if you are a serious handmade business owner that you want to take your business to a full-time gig. Today I'm doing something quite interesting. I am starting to design some new products. Now, you guys might be sat there saying, Steph, you kind of missed the boat on that. I get you, I understand, okay? I have not got a lot of time these days because I run Handmade Bosses, I coach, I teach, I have to tend to the students in the course. 90% of my time is spent doing Handmade Bosses. So I am a little bit late to the party when it comes to new products for Etsy. Now, a lot of you guys know that I am looking to wind my Etsy shop down just purely because my passion kind of now lies with teaching you guys. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just looking on my notes here. Throughout the year, I like to take notes. And when I say take notes, it's more of any word, anything, any picture, any notes that I see, I write down. I've got a lot of words here on my notes that kind of relates to my next product launch. So, two things. Number one, my next product launch, it needs to be, I think the kind of theme that I want it to circle around is dreamy. And the reason for that is that a lot of people are, looking ahead and thinking, I want to go on holiday, I want to plan for all these nice things that I've not been able to do. So I'm thinking of making a dreamy collection. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sprinkle some designs of like dreamy. So I'm thinking like moon, clouds, stars, stuff like that. I follow my own product creation process that I teach in the Handmade Bosses Success Academy. So I need to go onto Etsy and I need to do some heavy research as to what is working for me right now. As well as what I'd like to do is, because I'd like to wind sales down, I really need to look at things that are low maintenance for me to do. Now, I have spoken about on this channel and in the lives in the Facebook group, which if you're not a part of, the link is in the description box below. But I've mentioned before that I have seriously considered putting my Etsy shop on holiday mode. But before I do that, I need to make sure that I am doing as much as I can to really downsize the amount of time that I spend on my Etsy shop. So I'm going to try this first. I'm going to try and create some really low maintenance products for me to do, basically. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to very quickly do some research on my Etsy shop. I have a feeling that message cards and engraved jewellery are going to be the things that sell the best for me, because I wrap them, because I've been in this niche now for about 6 years. I've been in jewellery as a whole for 10 years, but in this particular niche, that's 6 years. So I know my target market so well that I almost don't need to do this whole process. I can just go bang, 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 done. But I'm going to have a little look on Etsy and kind of see what's doing well for me right now. And I shall catch up with you guys in a bit. So I've just had a look and my suspicions were confirmed. Essentially, message cards and the engraved jewellery have done well for me. But what I've done over the last couple of months, basically since like Christmas, is I've really downsized my charms. Now, the charm jewellery is the thing that takes the most time. Engraved jewellery does take a long time for me as well, but the fact of it is that makes up 50% of my sales. So, and also to stop the engraved jewellery means giving up my engraver, means getting rid of a load of blanks and stuff like that. So I'm thinking about keeping the engraved jewellery, making some new message cards, which I will run you through when I do that. That takes a lot more time though. Today, all I want to do is create some new engraved charm jewellery designs. So what I'm going to do, I've got my trusty little pink girly tape measure here. I'm going to flip you guys around so you can see what I'm doing, and I'm going to walk you through the process, what's going on in my mind. I'm going to do my best to like tell you what I'm thinking so you guys can really get an insight as to how I plan my products. So let's get into it. So what I'm going to do is that I've got a couple of discs and stuff here. So what I need to do is I need to make sure that my designs are still kept quite small. So what that means is that I basically need to keep them under the kind of 20mm mark, because that's what I have seen works really well for me. So the very first thing I mentioned was I wanted to do dreamy stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to I'll start off over here just so you guys can see. I'm going to put that there. So I'm going to start off with the cloud design, and this is literally what I'll do. So I'm thinking dreamy. When I think of dreamy, I'm thinking of cloud, moon, stars and stuff like that. Okay, so that's my really ridiculously rough sketch. So what I'm going to do is get my tape measure out, and I'm going to say that that needs to be around about the 25 mil mark. And then the height needs to be about 15 mil, something like that. I'm going to put that as design number 1. So I hope you guys can kind of see that, okay? So that is my first design. I kind of knew that's what I wanted to do. I've had the idea of doing a cloud in my mind for the longest time. So that's what I'm going to do, okay? And then usually at the top, I'll do RG for rose gold, G for gold, and S for silver. And essentially what I do with that is that I will monitor over the course of the year what colour sells well, so that when we had that big rose gold trend, that's kind of trying to like ease off a little bit now. So I'm going to order less of the rose gold but do more of the silver and more of the gold, because silver is coming back in a massive way. So that's number 1. Number 2 is I want to incorporate a teddy bear, because that is, weirdly enough, that is something that a lot of people have asked. Now, from my experience, I need to do a teddy bear face because I know how my engraver works, and I know that if I attempt to engrave on a complete body, I mean, I could do something where it comes down like this, something like that, but I'm thinking that's going to be a lot more complicated. So using my amazing Rub Out pen, I'm just going to completely ditch that, because I think a teddy bear face would be amazing, would be where it's at. So again, I want that to be quite small, because I think that a lot of them are going to be used for maybe children's jewellery, perhaps not, I'm not sure. I mean, my mum loves bears, so, who knows. And also what I want to do next to each of these is I need to write the thickness, and I really want the thickness to be not too far off of this. So this is about a 1.5 mil, and let me just double check that and just make sure that I'm not telling lies. No, that's definitely 1.5 mil. So what I will do is I will write notes, and this is seriously all I do, guys. I don't know if you can see that. I'm just going to switch it around. So this is all I do, is that I just do majorly basic stuff. Because at the end of the day, I know my own handwriting, and I know that this is the process that, this is all it needs to take, okay? So number 3 is I need to include a star. Now, the reason for the star being included is it's not a great reason. Obviously, over the past year, a lot of people have lost relatives. That's a terrible star, but you get my point, right? They've lost relatives and they are unable to see them. And a lot of people have struggled to deal with it. And I've been asked for stars so many times. And to be honest, I should have done the star sooner. That's what I should have done, but I haven't. So I have a list of people right now that are requesting stars from me. So I'm going to make sure that I do that in rose gold, and gold and silver. The bears I'm just going to do in gold and silver, because I don't think rose gold is more of a grown-up colour, and I don't think that's going to be one that's going to sell well for me. So we've got number 3. Again, I need that to be 1.5 mil. I also need that to be 20 mil on both sides, because I think that would be quite a nice size. This is a very big disc. These don't really sell very well for me just because they're so big. They're about a 28 mil size. So I'm keeping that there as my guide so that I know not to go over that kind of size, okay? The next thing is travel. Now, I know that people are dreaming of holidays, and I've got my kind of dreamy stuff going on here. I may include a moon, I may not. Last time I did moons, they didn't really do well for me. So I'm thinking of doing something travel. I've done compasses before. Compasses were a big thing back in like 2018. Now, not so much. So I need to think of design that's going to incorporate travel, but also be something new. So honestly, what I'm thinking about is, I mean, trouble is, if I do a globe, it's just going to look like a round disc. So I need to do something. I was thinking about a plane, but then to engrave on that would be an utter nightmare. So I'm almost thinking about creating a charm. And I know I said I was going to kind of ease off the charm jewellery, but the fact of it is that I know my gut instinct is telling me that my target market would go nuts for a globe, like an earth. So I'm going to go against my better judgment, and I'm going to do like a globe, and I'm not going to sit here and draw out all of the continents, but you get my point, right? These are rough drafts. These are very rough sketches. I will do them neater, obviously, when they are more into the design stage, but that is what I'm thinking. I don't know if you guys can see that very well. It's, it's supposed to be the Earth with the continents and stuff on there. So, yeah. So that needs to be, I'm thinking this needs to be a little bit smaller. Oh, I'm going to do like 15 to 17 mil on both sides. So let's do 15 to 17 mil on both sides, okay? So we have 4 designs. I usually like to do around 6 to 8, and then I will only tend to pick 4 or 5. The reason for that is that as creatives, I mean, give me a comment in the comments box. Are you one of these people? In fact, let me just switch you around. Give me a comment in the comments box. Are you one of these people that you keep buying supplies until you end up with nowhere to put them? That was me until I became really strict. I used to have 1,600 listings on Etsy. Now I have about 400 to 600 at any given time. Purely because I just overdid it majorly. I overdid it. I bought so much stuff. So now I'm really strict as to what designs go through. And at the end of the day, I still have my running list of stuff. So if ever, I don't make something this time around, it will still be on the list. And next time I will have a look at doing this. Just a very quick thing. I used to do this about 4 times a year, okay? It was between 4 to 6 times a year, depending on how active I was within the shop. Now, however, I do this probably once or twice a year, purely because I don't need to spend that much time doing it anymore. So yeah, I am going to carry on. I'm just going to flip you back round again, and let's carry on making some new stuff. Okay, so we're back down here. Now, having looked at my Etsy shop again, I know that my mother-daughter stuff sells really well, and I've been racking my brains for the longest time trying to think of an animal, because I think that animals sell well for me and the mother-daughter stuff sells well, and I want to combine them. So I need to think of something that combines an animal and the mother-daughter. So I'm thinking like, I don't know, mother bear, baby bear, mum bird, baby bird, something like that. So let's try, I'm either thinking of birds or bees. I think that those are my 2 things. So I'm gonna do birds. Oh god, this is going to be really hard to draw, and I'm filming as well, which is like added pressure. So I'm going to do the baby bird first. Now, baby birds tend to have like really small tails, really small beaks, but what's going to be tricky is trying to kind of decipher what the mum bird is. So if I go up here like that, if I go up there like that, and then I come back round and I give her a bigger tail, I think I should give her a bigger beak as well, just so, that looks more like a dolphin than a bird, but you get my point, right? And also what I want is I want this little bird to be cut out of this bigger bird. So I'm going to make the cutout in there, so it's kind of like her wing, but also it's like the baby bird in there. So because of that, this needs to be pretty beastie, and I did say I wasn't going to do anything too big, but I think with this you kind of have to. So I'm going to do that, and this little guy has got to be 13 mil and probably like 16 mil to fit inside of there. So I'm just going to put a note, fits inside of mum bird, okay? And I'm gonna do this in gold and silver because I'm not 100%. I mean, I am, but it's not like the cloud and the star where I'm like, I've been asked for these items, I know these are gonna sell well. This is more of a, it could sell well for me. It's based on what has sold well for me in the past, but it's a different version, okay? Right, so that is design number 5. I'm gonna do one more. So let's have a look and sort of chat about what else we could do. Now I know the bar jewellery has sold well for me, although I don't really know what else I can do with bars. I'm thinking about doing the bee thing, you know. I think I might make more of a collection out of the mother-daughter stuff, but I might make some more kind of bees. I am rubbish at drawing bees. I want the bees to be side on. I don't want them. Hang on, I'm just going to Google bee outline because for the life of me, I can't think of what a bee outline would look like. Okay, so I'm going to do something. I'm gonna lie again. I'm going to do a front-facing one. And I'm going to do something like this. Now, I can't draw much in the way of detail because I need these to be engraved. So it's going to be a little bit tricky because I've got to make sure that this area here is big enough for me to engrave. So that's Mama Bee, and then let's do Bubby Bee. Now, going off of this as well, I don't know if you guys can see that, I know that dragonflies sell really well for me. Dragonflies in particular sell well for my wholesale clients. So I know I need to introduce some more animal stuff for my wholesale clients. So I'm thinking I may do a dragonfly version of this as well. I'm just going to make a note. My handwriting is terrible, guys. I know you can't read that, but I can, and that's all that matters. So the size of this, it needs to be around about the 25mm mark, and this is going to be wider at about 35mm because of the wingspan. I need to experiment with this because my only concern is that these areas might be quite sharp, so I need to experiment with filing the edges down or keeping them blunt. I'm not entirely sure. So what I tend to do is I tend to make them, and then what I'll do is that I will file them, I will wear them, I will test them. So that's why you guys won't see me wearing jewellery very often, because I actually test a lot of my own stuff. So, you know, when you're taking jewellery on and off, on and off, on and off all the time, you just end up not wanting to wear jewellery. So I hope that was helpful. I hope you can see my whole design process and how quick and easy it really is. Honestly, guys, this is it. This is all I do. And I know that you might be sat there saying, Steph, like, no way has that taken you that amount of time. You must have like known what you wanted to do. The truth is, yes, I did kind of know what I wanted to do naturally as we go, you know, into creating a new collection. We do have thought processes and stuff like that. However, because I know my target market so well, and this is a place that you guys need to get to, you're not agonizing for days and weeks over what to create. And the whole thing is that I don't need to create a lot of new products. And here's the reason why. Number one, I mean, the most obvious reason is that I need to wind down my Etsy shop anyway, but let's just take that out of it for a second, right? Number one is that I know that I won't create many duds, okay? So I've been in my niche now for about 6 years. I know that my target market will love what I have to offer because I don't create from what I like to create. I mean, strictly speaking, I think the bear is a little bit creepy myself, but I know that my target market will love it. And I've taken the emotional concept out of creating new designs. And I think a lot of handmade business owners don't do that. The second thing is I kind of have a running note going within my phone. So whenever I see something when I'm out, if I see, I don't know, if I'm out on a nature walk and I see a log and I'm just like, that's a really pretty thing, I might write that down so that I know that, you know, the next time I'm thinking about nature, it will then go into a really weird nature thought process that will bring me up with dragonflies and bees. If I'm seeing a picture that I love, I'll take a picture of it and I'll keep that on my notes. So So that's the reason why it doesn't take me too long. Now, the next step for me will be to sit and narrow these down to 4 new designs. Ordinarily, I would double that and go with 8, but because I'm trying to wind things down, I'm not going to be doing that. So that's why I filmed this, because it wouldn't be like massively long. So that's basically my whole creation process. Now, the next steps for me would be to create these blanks and wear them, test them, engrave on them, and that process will take about a month. So I will basically sit down, I will obviously make them, get them made, get them here, and then I will put them on a chain, test them, wear them, see if they're okay. If it passes that, I will then engrave on them. I'll see how they engrave, whether there's any roughness when it's engraved. I use a diamond dragging technique, which needs to have a specific type of metal in order to do that. It needs to be a certain grade of stainless steel. So then what I'll do is I will actually spray perfume on them. I will put body lotion on them, and I'll see how they wear. If the metal discolors and I'm not happy, it then goes back and I do a different metal and I go back to the drawing board, okay? That whole process, as I said, takes about a month. Then the next step is to engrave it, send them off to the photographer and get her to take the pictures for me. And then essentially it's just me listing. Again, the whole process can take about 2 months. I will then start to build hype within my email list, or ordinarily I would start to build hype within my email list. And then when the product drops, I will then be full of people wanting to buy. And that is my whole entire process. But here's the thing, guys. Let's say you make these new products, right? Let's say that you are in the process of doing this yourself, okay? What's the point in making new products if you can't get them to convert well? That is why I have created an 80-minute free webinar masterclass for you called the 3-Step System to Skyrocket Your Etsy Conversion Rate. It's free. You need to go and watch it if you are a serious Etsy shop owner. The link for that is in the description box below. Guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to check out these 2 if you want to learn more about marketing on Etsy, and join the Facebook group if you haven't already. Link for that is in the box below. But for now, guys, I shall catch you in the next video. Bye, everyone.